Okay, so I decided to just go ahead and do my labor and delivery story the same day I did the introduction to Portland, just because I kind of want to get it out of the way. It's very hard to film when he's so small. I don't have much time on my hands. Would scare anyone. I didn't have a horrible experience, thank God. So, when the 2 weeks before I went into labor, the two checkups that I had on a Friday, I was effaced 50% in 1 centimeter, and then the next week I was effaced like 80% in 1.5 centimeters. So the doctor said that my when checking me, she felt like I didn't have much of a lining, and she wouldn't be surprised if my water broke. So if I did have any leakage, go right into the hospital, because I did test positive for the strep B stuff, whatever that really means. I still don't fully understand it. But of course I would have to get antibiotics before I was to deliver, so it wouldn't pass to Portland, and then the antibiotics cured it inside of me, whatever that means. So Sunday night, the 22nd, I was leaky, and so we had everything packed in already. So went to the doctors at like 4:30ish, got checked in. I would feel like the beginning of the labor pains were definitely manageable. I made sure I did not stay in the bed. So of course I got changed and put on all the stuff, and they did all the vital signs and checked in, and we got our room, kind of got settled in, let all our family know and close friends that I was at the hospital. And I definitely was feeling it, but it wasn't unmanageable. And then they asked me if I wanted anything for sleep, just because sometimes, like, during labor, you're really exhausted, so they want you to sleep as much as you can before it gets too painful. So at first I didn't really want to take anything, and Ryan didn't want me to, but then I was like, you know what, I'll just go ahead and take it. I can't remember what I got for sleep, but and then I want to say the next morning, so I went in at 4:30, right? The next morning at about 9 a.m. is when it became so unbearable. And I had made it to 7 centimeters. And then I was like, okay, I physically can't handle it. I was breathing. And through the whole time, I was not in my bed. My feet were hurting because I was walking around. I was bouncing on a yoga ball. I was moving. I was trying to make sure I stay active. So I was up pretty late doing that stuff anyway before I even took the medicine to help me sleep. And when the labor pains got intense, I definitely wasn't in my bed. I was using the bathroom. I had Ryan like kind of holding me, and I was breathing like a maniac. Like, it was probably disturbing to see, but I was like, you know what? I think I want the epidural. The doctor, the guy who does the epidural, took about 20 minutes to come. So by the time he came, and he did the epidural, and then they checked me, I was already at 10 centimeters. So I'm saying I made it all the way. But I didn't feel him put the epidural in my back. Everyone at the hospital was so nice. Like, I had tons of different doctors, and like they had some students from medical school. They asked if they can come and sit in and help out, and I was like, yeah, sure. Tons of different women there, everybody, midwives. Everybody was so nice. So then after they said I was 10 centimeters, it was time to push. But yeah, like my heart rate, the baby's heart rate, everything was good during that time up until like it was time to push. So I didn't have any traumatic things happening, thank the Lord. So then I ended up starting to push, and I pushed for 2 full hours. Once I hit the 2-hour mark, the doctor said, we don't like moms to push longer than that. It's not healthy for her or the baby. I was extremely tired. I was falling asleep during the pushing. But I did push on sides and on all fours. I pushed in all these different positions. So even though I got the epidural, I was still able to move. Like, I know some people say once you get it, you can't move. But I was able to. Like, I could move my body and hold my own legs up and sit on all fours and push. Like, I did it all. So either the epidural didn't really take, or it only took to the point where it made me not feel pain, but I was still a bit mobile. So after that, she asked if, since his head kept turning sideways, that's why he wasn't coming out, but I was pushing really well. I felt like I wasn't doing that good, but they kept telling me I was. I feel like part of that's their job, to encourage you that you're doing well. So she asked if it was okay if they used the vacuum to pull him out because he kept turning his head. And at first I was like, maybe I should think about this for a second. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with what the doctor is saying. Like, I don't want to cause any problems. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, whatever we need to do. I was pretty much like, whatever the doctors wanted to do, I was down with it. So the vacuum, they did the like suction cup, and I was able to, you push 3 times in one push. So it's like 3 times counting up to 10. The second time he came out. Of course, his head was a bit bruised and it had to be molded back down because it was kind of pulled. But I felt him come out and I was just kind of like in shock, like, damn, this is all just happening. Like, it was such a weird and surreal experience that I was there, that he was just born, that it was happening, that it wasn't a horrible experience for me, which I prayed for, because I know some people don't have the best labor. Granted, labor is never going to feel great, but like, you just hope that things don't go wrong. And I didn't have issues with heart rate or any crazy things like that, blood transfusion, none of that, thank God. So he came out and they whisked him away. Ryan went and took like his first picture and stuff. And then, so yeah, he came out. Ryan took the first photo. I think I was just still kind of in shock that all this just happened. Then they did the, chest to chest, and I was holding him, and was he crying? I can't fully remember. I was in and out while I was pushing, like that last 30 minutes. I was extremely tired. I was like falling asleep, and then I'll push, fall asleep. And they told Ryan that was fine because he was concerned that I was falling asleep. So then I felt them deliver the sack, or the bag that the baby lives in. I felt that come out. It didn't hurt. It just felt like slippery, gushy, like. Ryan actually walked past when they were doing that, and he saw it, and he was like, oh, I shouldn't have looked down at that. I actually had 2nd-degree tearing. I'm pretty sure it was from pushing for 2 hours and also them using the vacuum that can't be good for down there. So I did have some tearing. I also had hemorrhoids from pushing. The hemorrhoids actually hurt worse than the tearing. I honestly didn't feel much of the tearing until like this past week or so. I felt a little stinging when I would use the bathroom. But the first like 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, I didn't feel much of anything. So it was kind of weird. The hemorrhoids were horrible. But they did give me medicine. So they gave me cream, they gave me Tux, they gave me that spray in the blue bottle. They gave me the giant pads and like the disposable diapers. So the hospital gave me tons of that while I was there, and also some when I came home, like whatever I needed. They also gave us diapers and wipes for when we came home as well, and the leftover like formula to top him off, the pre-made formula. They were down there stitching me up for a while for that tearing, which I was a little nervous about, but it was fine. The only concern that they had at the hospital was jaundice. He was, of course, yellow when he came out, and they were concerned about that. They tested him for it, and they said it wasn't high enough for him to sit under lights, but it was still high. And so originally we would leave 2 days later, but they wanted us to stay. So we didn't leave until Wednesday instead of leaving on like Tuesday or whatever. And they said that if his jaundice was higher and they had to sit him under the lights, then we would stay on till Thursday. But it never got high enough to sit under the lights, so we were discharged on Wednesday, came home with tons of stuff, right? All the stuff from the hospital, all the stuff that I had packed, and then of course like the baby stuff. As far as him at the hospital, we weren't allowed to put him in any like baby clothing until 48 hours. So they like slowly take off the hat and the double swaddle blankets. He had to be warm for a certain amount of time after being born, which I didn't know that. So we only were able to put one outfit on him while he was at the hospital, which is fine. But yeah, so the only thing I can say that was kind of like, oh, I had the 2nd-degree tearing, and the hemorrhoids weren't the best, but, and then his jaundice was kind of scary. So once we came home, we had to go in for the 2-day checkup, and then they had to assess and see like where we were with jaundice. But it went away on its own. We didn't have to go back to the hospital, thank God. Just kept eating, and it went away. I want to say it went away within like a full 4 days after the 2-week checkup, 3 or 4 days. So yeah, I don't know. Now I feel like my labor delivery story is kind of boring. It wasn't much going on. I'm trying to think. Like, everybody was really, really nice. Saw the lactation person. They brought us food. Everybody complimented his name and said they really liked it. All the nurses that took turns during the shifts were extremely nice. It was always like 2 nurses. I think you hear Portland crying in the background. So I'm gonna hurry up with this video because Dad has him. But yeah, that was kind of my labor delivery story. There was one time we were in the hospital. He like choked while he was sleeping, and we both jumped up and were freaked out. And they said that like the water from the sac sometimes gets in their lungs and stuff, and so they, for like 48 hours, they could be coughing it up. And so he had that issue, which was kind of scary. He was born on November 23rd, 6 pounds, 11 ounces, 19.5 inches long at 2:40 p.m. So I was not in labor, not even a full 24 hours. If I started at 4:30 p.m., I would say I get into the hospital and then being done the next day at 12:40 noon. I would say it probably is the ideal. Like, when I have more kids, I would go through the exact same labor if I could choose. It was not bad at all. So I hope that didn't scare anybody. But I just want to kind of share my labor delivery story. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions about labor delivery, like if I missed out on a specific thing. Oh, one of the things that people talk about is like the ring of fire. I didn't have that. If I did, I didn't feel it. I do think I pooped a little bit. Like, I feel like from pushing, because they tell you to push through your butt basically to get the real push. And I think I had a little ball of poop come out because I felt someone pick it up. I'm pretty sure that happened. But yeah, okay. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And please like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more vlogs. I've posted about 5 or 6 vlogs at this point. More videos based around being a mom, having a baby, sit down videos, makeup related, hair related. I try to have like a well-rounded channel. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for clicking on this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Okay, so I'm sitting down editing this labor and delivery video, and there was a few things I forgot to mention that I want to say really quick and add to the end. So the first thing was I did get a COVID test. I know a lot of people are wondering because it's been so weird as the months go by, the protocols with people like having babies and stuff. I got a COVID test, but they didn't test Ryan because they didn't want him to have a positive COVID test, and then I didn't have a support person. That's what they said, which is kind of weird, but whatever. So my test, of course, came back negative, but they did test me like during triage. So like even before I got my room, they did a COVID test. Another thing was that because of COVID, of course, you can't have visitors, and they don't have like the little baby area anymore. So when your baby's born, they do everything in your room. So all of the hearing tests and the vision tests and the blood work and footprints and fingerprints, everything that they do to your baby that they would usually take them out for, they do it all in your room now. At least they do here where we live. So it was just constant different people coming in to do stuff that's like on a checklist on the board in the room. What was another thing? The only thing that they took him out of the room for was the circumcision, because that's like a minor surgery, and I don't think he was sedated, but I think he was like numbed or something like that. So that was the only thing that he left the room for, and it took like maybe an hour total. And then they brought him back, and then they show you how to take care of everything. They even did his first bath in the room, like wash his hair and everything. And also one of the side effects, I guess, or things that happened to me in a hospital was I bust blood vessels in my face from pushing. And so I have a clip that I'll add, and it just shows like my entire face. It just had like this little red like vessels all over it. That only happened to me one other time when I was working out and I did like a really intense workout and I had blood vessels popped all over my face. And it took about 2 weeks to fully go away. So that was fun. But those are the things I wanted to add to the end of this video. Oh, and of course, like they give you so much information in the hospital. It's like overwhelming because they talk about your recovery, the babies, and like healing and all this crap. And so you just like completely overwhelmed, but they give you like tons of paperwork at the end when you're discharging too. It's just like overwhelming. So that's it.
Try to sit forward so I can get your back.
So this is my face after pushing in labor. Popped blood vessels all over. They said it will go away within like a week. But I really don't care. I kind of forget about it. We're in like recovery room. I don't even know if this gonna go up on the vlog, but baby's over there. He's awake. Maybe he'll fall asleep. I think we're gonna try to feed. It's like the 4th time he's just getting that first bit of thick, milky stuff.